Hi, everyone. Not too many people here today. People must be in their apartments. Yeah, Jason's testing. There we go. I know it's a couple minutes before 1, so I thought I would just take the time to remind you of the evacuation procedure. Yes, scream and run out the door. If you hear the alarm bell go off right now, what do we do? Yep. And then we wait for instructions. What would we do, team, if this was a lockdown drill that got announced? Throw Tom out like the sacrificial lamb and then close the doors. Right. Deborah's right. We would make ourselves as invisible as possible. We want to close the doors. We want to shut the lights off. We want to be quiet so that if you ever hear a lockdown, just keep in mind, make myself as invisible as possible. And there are some places that's going to be really hard, like in the dining room and stuff, but just do your best, because even just putting yourself around a corner in a room that might otherwise be open could save your life if it's a true, dangerous situation. All right, we're going to get started with our management Q&A today. Welcome to anyone that is here for your first time, and to all of you that are watching on TV. Hello. I am going to start with Jason. And then you can go if you want. Okay. All right.
Check, check. All right. Hello. I am Jason Irish, Director of Concierge and Communication Services. I am going to talk very quickly. I've only got a few things. The first thing I want to talk about, on June 2nd, a week and a half, it's a Monday, our new IL activity coordinator is starting. Her name is Carrie Kohler. Gretchen is not leaving yet, so they're going to work together. But her first day will be Monday, June 2nd. The first month, probably most of June and then into early July, she'll be attending every activity, every meeting, every event. So, everyone that participates will see her in things. She'll be in yoga with Deborah. She'll be at, mental health task force meetings. She's just going to get, a feel for the building, meet the residents. Also with that, most of you know, Michelle talked about it at her address yesterday. We just put out that activity survey. Right now, we've got about 77 responses, which is great. We're hoping for more. That is for Carrie to kind of, and myself to review. Once she starts, we'll be able to look through that and, make small changes and tweaks to things we've been doing and enhance the things that we can. So again, keep your eye out for Carrie. Say hello. June 2nd, 2 weeks, week and a half. She will be here. Next thing I just want to talk about quickly. As most of you know, we have cameras all throughout the building. We're now up to 30 cameras throughout the building, which are monitored not all day, every day, but they're up on screens all day. We've got 2 more that are going in this week. So we are, continuing to enhance our security throughout the building. Tomorrow we had a trip scheduled to Storm King. So anyone in this room that was scheduled to go on that, we're most likely going to cancel. It's going to be in the 40s. It's going to rain. Not a great day to go there. We have emailed our contact there, hoping for a date to change the tickets to. We haven't heard back yet, but tomorrow's trip, if anyone in this room and listening from home and watching later on YouTube is attending that, we're canceling or postponing, and we'll give a new date once we know it. The last thing I'm going to talk about, and then I'm getting out of here. Vehicle assistance. We said at the last Q&A, we'll put it in the Chanticleer this week. June 1st, we're going to start charging anytime we need to assist with any kind of vehicle. We're going to charge $10. This is not, I want to, repeat, this is not, or I want to make clear, this is not an effort to make money. We're just trying to have residents take ownership of their vehicles. And if they don't use them or don't need them, we can also help sell them. We don't take a commission. So, we'll help get rid of the car if you don't need it. But we're here to help. Again, if you do need the help, there will be a charge. We will still help and can still help. But I just want to make that clear. Any questions while I'm here? I'll go through it again. I'll send you an email with everything I talked about. Anyone else? I talk fast.
Well,
Uh,
to that point though, and Lindsay, you may know the answer to this. If you watch it on YouTube, you can get it with closed captions. We always post them all to YouTube. We post my weekly addresses, Dave's weekly addresses, a lot of the special presentations, these management Q&As, they all go on our YouTube channel, and you can just select to watch it with closed caption, which is great because some of us do talk fast. We try to be mindful of it, but our minds get going. So knowing that we have this closed caption option and that you all have it, if you pull it up on YouTube, is great.
Did you have it yesterday?
Yes.
I didn't get it.
I sent it out today. Lindsay sent it out this morning.
Thanks, Jason.
Go to Phil.
Yep.
Hi, everybody. Phil Cavallo, Director of Dining. How's everybody doing today? I have 4 quick little bullet points, all revolving around dates that are coming up in the very near future. I will start with the closest and work forward. On Wednesday, May 28th, is National Seniors Health and Fitness Day. So we will be celebrating in the pub by serving something that is health and fitness related, not chicken wings. No problem. So if you're expecting chicken wings next Wednesday, it's the day of the year, the one day Wednesday of the year that we're going to be healthy. So choose something else. On the Thursday following that, the 29th, it is a prospective resident luncheon. So the dining room will be closed for lunch. The bistro will be closed for lunch. Thursday, the 29th. The pub will be open. Plan accordingly, please. Monday, Memorial Day, we are doing our dinner barbecue. You can, we're planning on being outside, weather permitting. If it's not feasible, then we're going to have to do it inside, but we're going to try to have it outside. Along that same line, we have the kickoff to summer barbecue, Friday, June 6th. That is for lunch. That's the entire building, employees, residents, you name it. We do have pre-sale tickets in advance. They are $12. If you buy day of at the door, so to speak, they are $14. You can sign up at Concierge up front from now until then. Those are just about the only things that I wanted to share. I'm open for questions.
When will we know the menus for the barbecue on the 30th and on the 6th? Or can you tell us the menus now?
Yeah, Jared, barbecue ribs and barbecue chicken on Memorial Day.
Memorial Day is there's ribs, there's barbecue chicken. I have seitan skewers. I have vegetable skewers. There's cornbread, watermelon, brownies, pasta salad. There's something else in there. I was just looking at it today. That's all I can remember off the top of my head. The 6th, yeah.
We will post them, yes. Sure. As soon as I can.
It'll be a buffet. It'll be a buffet. Yeah.
I have a question. Is any of that gluten-free?
The ribs are gluten-free. The chicken is. Yes, ma'am. Pork ribs. They'll be gluten-free. The chicken will be. Yeah, they'll be marked on a menu prior at the hostess desk and on the buffet table itself.
Are the pre-sale tickets go against the monthly balance,
Yes,
or is it a separate?
monthly balance.
Okay.
That's it.
Everybody's asleep today. We
Wonderful.
need one of the comedians to come up next.
I'll pass it on to Tom.
Hello, I'm Tom Tango, Director of Plant Operations. Got a couple things to say, go over with. Starting next week, we're going to be getting in touch with you about storage, about moving storage cages. And we'll be sending a letter to each of you who need to move with some dates about when it'll happen. And and the letter will say a lot more, but I just want you to hear from me. And I keep saying this, you don't need to do anything. We will do everything, moving your storage cage if need be. Doesn't mean you can't do it. Doesn't mean you can't help. Doesn't mean, you can't do it. But I just don't want everybody to feel that they have to do it. We'll do everything. All right. So you'll be getting a letter. Those of you whose cages will be moved. And also, like I said before, it's going to work out splendidly. It's going to be like a well-oiled machine. And everybody's going to get just what they, requested. It's going to work out fine. Things don't ever go wrong, but it'll be fine. You'll see. And we have a summer staff, Sophia, who'll be here, and she'll be kind of like your point of contact for a bit. And she'll be contacting you and working out, moving of the storage cage. And I thank you for your patience. I know we started this a while ago, and we're just getting to it now. There's some concrete that needs repaired around the campus. In the next few weeks, a lot of that is getting done. I don't have dates for it yet, but it'll be happening. Tomorrow, there's going to be a crane coming again. We're changing a non-working HVAC unit on top of the health center, on top of OTPT. And I sent out a notice. There's some parking spaces out in front of OTPT that I need cleared off by 3:00 today for the crane that's coming. And so if anybody's out there right now, my guys are out there right now getting in touch with people and moving that. But you'll see the crane coming in the morning, and then it'll be gone by lunchtime. And so,
Does that include the EV charge station?
yes. Yep. So if you leave your car there, I'm just going to tell the crane, and he'll move it. It's not a problem. Gutters. I know we have a lot of issues with gutters, a lot of things leaking, but we do have a company coming in to clean and adjust all the gutters. But like a lot of things on my list and other things, the rain and weather as of late has delayed everything. So I don't have a date for the gutters getting done, but they will be getting done. All the gutters getting cleaned. Also, starting next week, we will be aerating all the lawn. The core aerator goes around and puts holes in the lawn and aerating it. Also, we're going to be spreading compost on the lawn. So when we do, it might, have a I don't want to use the word odor, but an aroma. But it won't be bad. Right. It's not manure, but it's just, and it'll be spread by hand, and, we'll get that spread. And that goes with our initiative of, a greener lawn, and no pesticides, no chemicals. And we do have signs. Did we get the signs yesterday? All right. We have signs that are going to go up at the entrances, nice printed signs that inform people coming on property, that we are doing the grass in a natural method, so that, in case they come and they say, hey, this doesn't look like a golf green anymore. Well, we know that we're on their way there. With that being said, any questions?
Some of us who don't have to move our cages have volunteered to share a cage. Are we going to be notified also?
Yes. If somebody's moving in with you, you'll be notified.
Okay.
Yeah. There's not that many, but yeah. Yep. And it should work out fine. Some people get new cages. Some people have shared. It'd be great. So.
I noticed that the SUSCOM and the Landscape Committee meeting decision to mow the front grass at the wood's edge has been done. It looks very neat and tidy.
All right. I'll take a compliment.
Thank you.
I didn't do it personally. Yeah, no, I agree. Mark, the new I shouldn't say new, they did last year also, but the Garone's landscaping has been great. Mark has been very good communicating with them. And think, and we also have some new people working with us. Some of you met Maureen. She works per diem with us. She does a great job. I think the outside right now looks better right now this time of year than it has in a lot of years. And there's still going to be some things that happened even more.
Yeah, can you actually talk a little bit about the what's going to be happening with the main island and the front entrance, because that is going to be
and I know Mark
pretty
is
significant.
right, and then Mark is talking with there's like a lot of committees. I'm not too up on what names they are, but he's talking with somebody about selecting trees. The main entryway when you come in, the island in the middle, we're going to be removing those trees that are not too attractive. And we're going to be putting in some different trees that will look better, and they'll stay looking better. And Mark is working with the committee right now and is selecting those exact trees. And in addition, once you come in further, there's that sign, it's called the tombstone sign about where to go. We're going to be dressing that area up also. So it's going to be, visually much better. Also, Mark has a plan. He's going to be doing to really enliven and really dress up a good bit. Garden View Garden over in the health center. We have some brand new planters, and he has a good plan there of things that are going to happen there. Again, not just to make it better now, but it's things that he's doing were selected and planned so that they look better going forward. So that they're, not every year, gee, this looks terrible. So that's going to be, good. And like a lot of other things I said, a lot of the, I don't want to keep standing here and blaming the rain on everything, but it just has delayed a lot of things. But in the next few weeks, you're going to see a lot of different things happening.
On the same subject, the flower beds right in front of the concierge desk are scruffier and scruffier and scruffier, and it's a lousy first impression for everybody who comes through that door.
All I can ask is just give us a chance. I mean, we're getting everywhere. Yes, they should maybe, we got to clean them up, but then there's other places that we got to that, and this is going to be, a lot of people are going to be surprised, but no matter where we would have started, somebody would have complained.
I'm just getting it on the list.
I agree with you. Yeah. And we will get to everything. Yep.
Ralph?
Yeah, at the intersection of all the parking lots out into the ring road, there are bushes that grow tall, and every year they grow taller and taller. It's the wrong kind of plant there. It should be like a what do you call it, creeping rug or something like that.
The bush
line of visibility there is terrible.
The line of sight and visibility is something that we just spoke about. Mark and I just talked about maybe a few days ago. I mean, we got to look at it. Yes.
It's a parking lot 4. And also
all of them,
and
not just that, but also the main entrance. Though.
Yes, right. All those.
Yep.
Good.
Yep.
Thanks.
I'm going to go to Ronnie Sue and then Evelyn. Oh, okay. So then I'm going to come to Evelyn then.
Want to thank you for all the new doggy stations.
Again, I'll take credit, but that's more Michelle and Lindsay than it is us. But yeah, our guys put them up though. Yeah.
Well, it was a group effort. Pet Ponders wanted it. I said, sure. Lindsay coordinated. You guys put them up.
Yep. All right. Thank
all
you.
Right. Good meeting.
Now I'm going to bring Rob up. Sorry.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am not Tom Tango. I'm Robert Dunn, Director of Environmental Services, so I will not be taking any cage questions. Couple things for us this time of year, as you know, and most of you have probably experienced already, we get more pests during the year. Ronnie's looking at me. She knows. So call right away. I appreciate that phone call first, and then we'll get you in the pest control book. They're here twice a month. But if it's an emergency situation where you've got a hornet's nest on your back porch, then we can have them come, within a day or two. for those situations. So continue to call me or Carrie if you've got an issue that shows up on you suddenly. Call concierge if it's off hours, because the pest control book is there when he comes here. He does the pest control books on both sides of the building, so he will see it. So, and concierge documents it in there, so we can track all the problems that we're having this year. With the rain and the non-pesticides, we're going to have more invasions than we normally do because of those circumstances. So just going forward, just report them as soon as possible. Number two, I like to touch on, as the months get warmer, please make sure your air conditioners are turned on for the staff. That doesn't mean when they show up at 8, turn it on then, because it's too late by then. I know a lot of you like to keep your apartments warm. I understand that, but it needs to be a good working temperature for them. I think we set it at below 75 degrees. Like, we don't want the staff working in that kind of environment. If they get to your apartment and it's 80, 85 degrees, I've instructed them not to do the cleaning. I don't want them to do the cleaning in that kind of temperature work. I don't need somebody passing out while they're trying to do that kind of stuff. Okay. So just be mindful of that. We come once a week for some and twice a week for others. So we're only asking you to do that once every time they come on your housekeeping appointment. So just turn the AC on. We come every other week. All right. So just be mindful of the temperature in your apartment for them. Carrie is continuing the annuals. We will continue that through the summer. Another thing also too, maybe if you got your annual done in the wintertime and we weren't able to do your porch at that time, we can schedule that separately now. So call if you feel like, I want to enjoy my porch, but I feel like the pollen is starting to settle down. My car is not as green as it was 2 weeks ago. So we can probably do your porch and have it, at least last, but a lot of that stuff, pollen builds up on your porch. So we can do that separately if you want to. Just call us and we'll schedule a porch cleaning if we need to. Okay. I think that's it for me. She's continued to call for the annual, so we'll schedule them. And we're still ahead of schedule on those, so we're moving pretty well. Any questions for me today? Go ahead, Ms. Wu.
I just wondered if there was any progress made on repairing the steam cleaner for the porches. I'm specifically talking about the common porch on 2 South.
Yes. So we had an issue with the hose kind of shot on our thing, and I discovered end of last week, and I talked to Michelle about we have to get a new one, because now the hose is now obsolete on that particular machine, because we've had that number of years now. So I can't get a hose. So I need to order a new machine and put a PRF in for that. So it'll take some time to get it in, but yes, we are getting another one. Okay. But yes, it is very effective in our porch cleaning methods, because the steam just takes the pollen and the gunk right out of the way.
I know.
Just want to say how nice it is with the new garbage run going at night instead of through the day and everything.
Good. I'm glad that's working out. I think that was, a great idea. Like I said, I haven't gotten any feedback on it, from you guys. So I was hoping that was going really well. Wasn't that, Michelle?
Sure.
But I appreciate the compliments on it. So thank you, Ina.
I'm not going to be here for the next cleaning, which is the 7th so what about the air conditioning? Can I give permission to the woman who's in charge of cleaning?
Yeah, we can schedule that ahead of time. So if we have permission to go in and do your cleaning, we can kind of turn that on ahead of time or go in
That's
beforehand. Yes, as long as we have your addendum form. A lot of you let us in when you're not around, and that's okay. If you don't want that, that's fine too. But just make sure you have that form signed for us that we have permission to go in. And then we just assign it in WorksHub, so this way we know. But we can go in ahead of time. And you've let Carrie know you're going to be away?
I haven't yet, but
okay,
I will.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yep. Anything else? One more?
I just want to compliment your guy that does the porches on the 6th floor of Central. He did a great job on the far end porch as well as our porch.
That's Stephen was working on that. So I'll pass that along to him. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, Stephen takes a lot of pride in his work.
Yes.
Anything
Anything
else
else?
for Rob?
Okay.
Thanks, Rob.
Hi, everyone. I'm Shannon Scatoro, the Director of Marketing. Not too much has changed on my end. We're still full. We've had 19 new people move in this year so far. 9 more in the works, just waiting on their apartments to get renovated and ready for them to move into. A couple weeks ago on the 8th, we had one of our first resident panel luncheon of the year where we had 45 people attend. This is for those of you that don't know about them. Many of you have attended them. It's where prospective residents attend. They have lunch. There's a panel of 8 or 9 residents that talk to the audience about why they chose to move here, what they like about Woodland Pond. We open it up for questions and answers. And it was well attended. We had about 50 people there. We have another one coming up next week on the 29th. We have right now 53 RSVPs. And it's usually wonderful. It helps a lot of people realize what resident life is really like, and we get nothing but great feedback from it. So thank you all that help us out with that. Any questions for me? No?
No questions, just congratulations. That's all I can say.
Thank
We're on
you.
the welcome committee. We can't keep up with you.
You have been busy, definitely.
Thanks, Shannon.
All right, thank you all.
Good afternoon. Excuse me, everyone. I'm Dave Roberts. I'm the Capital Projects Manager here at Woodland Pond. If you've been listening in on Friday, I haven't got that much of an update, just that we continue to do our GMP evaluation to do the value engineering on the price that came in from our contractor. And that's just trying to find savings without compromising on the quality and design. We don't have any real progress with the DOH. We're continuing to work with our attorney and also the other CCRCs to figure out a path forward there. But really what that means is that we don't have a defined schedule for the start of construction. That's just where we're at. But we're doing everything we can at the moment to, move that forward. Also been working on the Performing Arts Centre, the new Performing Arts Centre design development. And as I said in my talk, I'm just really blown away by the attention to detail and the consultants that we have on board. What that means is that we're going to end up with a space that performs technically in so many ways, really performs really well. And what that means is that it's going to be easy to hear, see what's happening on the stage, and it will be able to perform all the activities that we're designing it for really, really well. And I have great confidence in that just because of the meetings I've been in and the thoroughness of all our consultants. Really, really great. And then aside from that, I think that's pretty much all that we've been working on. We are continuing work on the satellites and doing our due diligence on the Erman property. This week, we have a meeting with the ecologist who, of course, was evaluating the wetlands, and we'll kind of really have a much more thorough understanding of the implications of that on our future design. Other than that, do you have any questions for me? Yes. Yeah, it's a long story. On YouTube, you can go and look at my Friday afternoon. I always put out an update, a 15-minute update. But it is the plans for our future renovations and additions for the independent living, the community building, as well as for the health centre, and our proposed building of a satellite campus that will have additional living units, independent living units. Anyone else? You're all up to speed. All right.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Terrell Fairley. I'm the manager of IT and cybersecurity here at Woodland Pond. I don't have many updates for you guys today, but I did want to take this opportunity to really just mention some of the services that we have in the technical department. So if you guys have any issues with, your cell phones, your mobile phones, your TV, anything home entertainment related, we can kind of help out with that stuff. Some other things, because everybody's, security is always top of mind, right? We do help out and answer questions related to any types of questions that you have related to cyber or security, I should say. Whether you get a strange text message, phone call, an email, something like that, and you need that validated, we can kind of help out with that. Okay, so I wanted to make mention of that. The only other thing that I wanted to mention was we did recently complete what's called a penetration test. So this kind of happens behind the scenes for Woodland Pond at the organizational level, but it really just tests our capabilities and our security controls that are put in place to prevent hackers from hacking Woodland Pond. So we essentially, they don't grade it, A, B, C, D, E, F, or give any type of score essentially like that. But we did score very, very well this round. So I just wanted to make mention of that. So any questions before I step away? No questions. Easy crowd today. The microphone's yours, Michelle. I think we did have one.
Oh, okay. Hi, Bernice, hang on. And a very happy belated birthday to you. And on Mother's Day? How special.
That's what I wanted to say before the staff scuttles. Thank you so much for my birthday card. It was beautiful. I have relatives in 3 different states. They all emailed me and wanted to know what I did wrong because the teacher, always remembers the guys who gave him a hard time. So I had to straighten them out. You just love me.
Happy birthday, Bernice.
I had the opportunity to meet your grandson that told me about the wedding that's coming up, and boy, was he excited. So he said he'll be back in September, and he's very excited about that. So, all right, you guys can go if you want. I just want to go through a couple of things. You can stay if you want. I want to just chat for a few minutes about yesterday's power outage that happened in the health center and what we do when we have a situation like that, just to kind of fill you in for those of you that are newer to Woodland Pond. You may know this and you may not, but it's always good to hear it again. Woodland Pond has a very substantial, developed emergency plan. And I say plan, but it's a series of plans. And essentially it's about 75, 70, 50, 80 different scenarios. And each single one has an emergency plan attached to it. So tornado, power outage, zombie apocalypse, COVID, staffing shortage, internet goes down, the whole 9 yards. And our safety committee at Woodland Pond, which meets monthly, is responsible for making sure those policies are appropriate, updated, and intact. And from time to time, we think it's important to drill on some of those things. And you're accustomed now to the fire alarms going off sometimes, or us having a lockdown drill. But we're really wanting to focus on some of the things that are more Mother Nature driven, or things that are outside of our control at Woodland Pond. So doing an exercise like we did yesterday, we just focused on the health center yesterday. And if you watched my address, you heard me explain that that's because there are a lot of technical moving parts in the health center that really require us to be very in tune to exactly what's going to be powered by the generator, any challenges. So after we had our drill or our exercise yesterday, we had an after action, we call it a hot wash. We got the whole team together today in the classroom. You might have seen us. And Lindsay took great notes, and she's going to be updating our power outage emergency plan to specifically delineate what we found stayed on, the elevators in the health center, the call bell system, the radios, the secure doors on skilled nursing, Garden View, the badge system, the telephones, etc. And then the things that didn't stay on, that we're okay with that, because not everything can be on emergency power. Our generator, as sized, is now maxed out with how much load we can put on it. So we certainly can't put everything on emergency power, and things that are related to life safety have to take the priority. So one of the things that we know does not work, whether you like it or not, is the TVs in the health center, skilled nursing, assisted living, and Garden View. They're not on emergency power. But that's a risk that our safety committee has deemed acceptable. So we went through all of those things. We did an audit of all 100 rooms, heating and cooling elements, to make sure that the individual heating and cooling mechanisms, the machines in each room were operable and on emergency power. We found 2 that were not. Simultaneously, we tested our mapped emergency outlets in the health center. So Tom maintains a map of where all of the emergency power runs in the health center, and we audited that. We want to make sure that that map is as accurate as possible. We provide to our staff, they have emergency preparedness bins periodically throughout all of the units. That's not just in the health center, that's here too. If you ever went to concierge, you'd see one. Actually, it's in the admin office, but it's a red bin. If you ever look behind a desk and you see a red bin, that is a red bin of emergency supplies. So emergency lighting, extension cords, lanterns, headlamps, something called a hug light, which is a light that goes around your neck. But if you're providing hands-on care, you can still provide care while having a light. Those are audited and well-equipped. The map is one of the things that goes into each of those bins. So in addition to identifying the things that we found on emergency power and didn't find on emergency power, we went around the room, and every member that was there, which represented every single department, had the opportunity to express any observations that they had, things that they want to do with additional training with their staff. We are very fortunate, knock on wood, that in almost 16 years of being open, we have not had a prolonged full power outage, except for maybe one that was like 5 hours. 8 hours on Christmas Eve 4 years ago. So that's pretty good, considering we've been here for quite a long time. And a lot of the power that comes to the Woodland Pond property comes over lines that are not buried. So it's not so much that Woodland Pond has exposure on our campus, but the power that services Woodland Pond, if you were to drive down North Putt or any of these roads, for the most part, they're lines that are susceptible to a pole coming down or, a tree coming down on wires. So it's really important for us to have this. One of the things that we invested in that you will see coming soon, I had asked Tom if he could get a quote to get us a secondary diesel tank to attach to our generator. Because our generator has capability of a very significantly sized diesel tank, and it meets regulation and it can run the generator. But we felt that it was prudent to have a backup to that, just in case we have an even more prolonged power outage. Then this way we have a secondary source of diesel fuel. So you will see that being installed behind the loading dock in the next 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 2 to 3 months, 2 to 3 months. We got to buy time, Tom. It's raining. Yeah. So if you ever have anything like this is really important for the suggestion box and the rumor mill. We take safety and preparedness really seriously here. In addition to going through any number of safety plans at those meetings, we also have a report out by Sarah, does a report of any resident accidents or incidents that have happened on the property since the last meeting. So within the last 30 days. So if we had anybody that had a fall or got locked out on their porch, or any variety of things, we have an email address that's called Accident Report. and that gets reported to several of us, but she then sits with our team. We go through any incidents that have happened and we look around and say, okay, what can we put in place to mitigate this? Is there a mitigating factor? And we do the exact same thing for any employee incidents that have happened since the last meeting. So if there's somebody cut through their cut glove or something, or if somebody had a needle stick or whatever the case may be, got their hand trapped in a garbage pail, tripped on an open garbage pail lid. And the purpose of these meetings is not to penalize anyone. It's to ensure that we're focusing our training on things that really affect our staff. From that, one of the things that came out of this is we will be doing a renewed update on offering what's called the 2-person chair get-up method. Some of you are familiar with this. This is a technique that Jonathan Papan, who is our director of rehab, trains our staff on how to help you get up off the floor if you're not injured or in pain and feel that you can participate in getting up using 2 chairs. So we have decided, our safety committee decided this past meeting, that it will be required that all non-health center staff, and I'll explain that in a second, all non-health center staff that are full-time, every department will be required to be trained on this method. So right now we have it trained basically on a voluntary basis, but we feel that it's very important to help that any of us could bring 2 chairs. And if you're up to trying, basically there's a technique to making sure that you get onto your knees and then how you place your feet to get up and how you use 2 chairs to do it. And I think what we'll do is once we get the staff trained, Lindsay, maybe we'll record it and put it on our YouTube channel so that you could learn and just see it yourself, because it's not only applicable here. It could be you're out in public and you see someone on the ground and they feel that they want to try to get up. You know, maybe you just find some 2 chairs in your pocket and help them up. But I share this with all of you just to let you know that despite the fact that we always have a million things going on, there's always an undercurrent of strengthening the community, focusing on safety. We actively take a role in this and we want your feedback. So I definitely want it. Suggestions, rumor mill, bring it to us. Our safety committee will put it on the agenda. Yep. So Tom does a really good job with monitoring all of the plans and the logs of any drills that we do. There are a lot of drills that are required for the health center that you don't see as frequently. We have to drill on fire alarms every quarter, every shift. There are certain evacuation drills we have to do annually. There are missing resident drills that we're required to do. Elopement, evacuation, elopement. If somebody gets out, we're required to drill on that. That doesn't necessarily apply to independent living, but it does help us in getting prepared. We kind of use the same thought process and methodology. And as Tom pointed out, when the Department of Health comes, they want to look for proof that these things are happening and that Woodland Pond is taking care of these things. Another point on safety, Lindsay's been like the sign guru. So we're putting up the natural lawn signs. Those are going to be at the entrance. At the same time, we have procured safety tips for trail use signs from Timely Signs. So at the trailheads for the Branch Trail and the McBride Trail, sometime in the next month, you'll see the safety tips are listed there. So you don't have to try to remember what are the recommendations, but it'll be there for people that might be visiting or whatever the case may be. We thought that that would be good to have those safety tips right there at the trailheads. So those will be going in. Any questions on that stuff? Oh, the reason I said excluding the health center staff is because our health center staff, by nature of their jobs as a registered nurse, a licensed practical nurse, or certified nursing assistant, a therapist, they all are trained professionally and certified and licensed in how to help a resident up off the floor. Our independent living staff are not certified to help you get off the floor. We can't pick you up. But if you feel that you can participate in getting yourself up, that's where we can help you with the chair method and directing you to do that. Any questions on that stuff? Okay. I want to talk quickly about where we are with Department of Health and Department of Financial Services. As Dave said, there hasn't been much activity since we last met, and he's right. We are at the mercy of Department of Health and Department of Financial Services, and it's frustrating. Our attorney, I think we had let you know that we hired a special attorney just to help us usher this through DOH and DFS. She has also been retained by the majority of the other applicants that have applications in right now. So she's representing a number of us. They are taking meetings with her, which I take as a good sign. It's not radio silence. There has not been no commitment to a path forward, though. So what we have done, yay, perfect timing. What we have done is we're moving things forward in a way that's careful because we don't want to spend money that is going to be at risk. So when you hear Dave talking about developing the PAC plans, that's important to us because that is a project, should we find a funding source through a capital campaign or a foundation gift or something, that project could happen today. It's already been approved by the planning board. So in order to determine if there's legs to that plan, so that we can get something moving here, we want to get in front of you renderings and these kinds of things so you can see what we're talking about. There's a lot of excitement. So that's something that we feel is worthwhile in spending the design money on. But it's not going to be a broad brush that we're just advancing design costs right now because we're not sure where this is going to go with DOH and DFS. As we have updates, I will bring them to you. Okay. I would like to welcome Sarah up, and Sarah is going to introduce and let Liz talk to you. How many of you have met Liz so far? Yay! So exciting. Yeah, why don't you guys come on up? I'll let Sarah do whatever she wants to do, and then we'll let Liz kind of go. Does anybody have anything else for me before I hand over the mic? Perfect. Just how I like it.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Sarah Leonard, and I'm the Resident Services Director. It's nice to see all of you as usual. And I'm very happy to introduce you to Liz. She's just been here for a very short time, but to me, it feels like she's been here for a very long time. And I mean that in a very positive way, because she has just really jumped right in. And she's been welcoming everyone to come and meet her and talk with her. And my perception is her door has been a revolving door since she arrived. And it's been very positive and a lot of good energy. And she's been visiting a lot of people. So I'm really excited to have her here and have her be a part of our team.
Sure. Hello. I'm so happy so many of you raised your hand. So I would love everyone to come in and see me, even if you don't need me. You probably have a history that I want to know about or some way that I can figure out how to help you. I just like to talk a lot, as some of you may know. But, you know, the biggest thing with me, my history as a nurse is mostly in cancer care. And for the last 20 or so years, I did breast cancer. Cancer involves every part of the body. So I feel like, because I'm old too as a nurse, I know a lot of things about a lot of things. So if you have something going on, hopefully I can figure out what to do for you, how to help you. We can look it up. I've helped people call their doctors. My first article in the newsletter is about how to get the most from a doctor's appointment, because I know that the system stinks. And I want to be able to help you get through the system, figure out how to talk to your doctor so that you are getting the best care that you need. Because, you know, we get to be a certain age, we need our doctors to work with us and for us. So that is why I'm here. Or if you just want to tell me about your life or anything, I would love to meet you. So please come in. I might have to ask you several times your name, but I think I'm learning. I hope I'm learning. And I love the name tags. That's my favorite part. So yes, Annette.
You don't know this, but we're actually on TV right now.
Oh, hello.
10,000 residents in our
Okay.
It's going to go on YouTube.
Okay. All right. Good.
The people over there can't hear the audience unless they talk into a mic.
Oh.
I have to pass the mic for questions.
What are your hours?
I am here 8 to 4, Monday through Friday. But if you need me, if you come in at 4 and you need something, will be there for you. So a few people have made appointments, and that's helpful because if you walk by, you see I'm often not there. And so if I have you on my schedule with an appointment, then I tell people, I'm sorry, I have an appointment. I can see you later, or we can chat later.
And Liz is going to be a big part of Sarah's approach when it comes to interviewing prospective residents. Mary Jo did so as well, but this is a really important role for the wellness RN, is to make sure that we understand prospective residents, any limitations, any concerns, talk through them, any chronic or acute illnesses, any mobility issues, those kinds of things. And I think you've done a couple already.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's a great way for you to get to know people right off the bat.
Yes.
Who has questions for Liz or comments at this point? Okay, we'll definitely make sure you take advantage. So
Yes,
do you want to
please
talk a
do.
little bit about the LCSW search?
Yes. So we are in the middle of doing a search for a part-time licensed clinical social worker for Woodland Pond. And we've already interviewed one person, and we have a second interview coming up on Tuesday. And this would be a person who would be focused on a number of different things, but the role would be kind of, I guess, organic is the right word. We would develop it as it goes. And one of their focuses would be, as people are coming into Woodland Pond, being able to really do a lot of visits with that person, see how they're making their transition, see how what kind of emotional support they might need, and being available that way. Also being available for people as they're transitioning into the health center, as a person that can do visits in their apartment and talk with them. And we will basically see how the role evolves, and we'll see, how the candidates come in. And anything else you want to say about that, Michelle?
No, I think, we tried this search, I don't know, like 2 years ago, 3 years ago. It's been an initiative of the Mental Health and Wellness Committee for some time. And when we attempted it the last round, we didn't really get great outcomes. But the issue and the need has not gone away. Many of you remember, you're still in it, some of you, the transition into Woodland Pond is a tough one. You're oftentimes leaving the home that you raised your children in, or that you had your marital home in, or that you just love so much, and you want to come here, but part of you wants to stay. And so we recognize that Sarah and Liz can't take that all on. It needs more attention. That transition process and that support process needs more, and it needs us to be more proactive and not so reactive, and not waiting for the welcoming committee to say this person's having a problem, or the resident thinking I have a problem, but I'm afraid to come forward, or whatever. So we're kind of going to smother these people when they come in through this role, but I think in a good way, and in a way that means that we want to support them coming in and really feel like they're assimilating. So how do you put in a work order? How do you, it's not just going to be related to things in Sarah's department. It's going to be really just making sure that they're accustomed to Woodland Pond. They'll also, Sarah talked about, they'll be, and I think probably at some point they will join the interviews as well. I envision that happening for prospective residents. I think that that's a good role for this person, schedule permitting eventually. But there's also the transition that happens not only when you go to the higher level of care, but if you're a caregiver here in independent living and something about your relationship with who you're caring for changes, you need extra support in that. Like let's say you're a primary caregiver for someone and they have to move to the health center because they can no longer reside in independent living. The caregiver burnout for you is becoming real. That relationship and that dynamic needs support in a way that's beyond, Sarah. I mean, Sarah is certainly capable of doing it. It's not a capability issue. It's a time issue. So we're investing in this to provide more to you. It's not a replacement of or any kind of recognition of a skill set. It's just, we think this is something more that's needed. And while right now we're hiring for it as part-time, I think it's very reasonable to think that this could turn into a full-time job because the need is not going to go away. And our goal here is really just to continue to support you all in your transition. So we're hoping to have somebody hired within the next month.
Hopefully.
And let that person, and we'll work really closely with the welcoming committee to figure out where we can start to divide up the responsibility list a little bit and take some of the load that's been being carried by the welcoming committee on more of that psychosocial support aspect of it, and let Woodland Pond sort of carry that torch a little bit more. Okay. Questions for us?
Questions for me?
Comments?
All right.
Wait, Tom Gilder's doing. Oh, my win in an uncontested school board vote.
Woohoo!
Yes. Now, yes, it was uncontested. So there were 3 people that ran in 3 spots, but a little humble brag, I did get the most votes. So I got like 1,200 and something votes. So I was very excited about that.
Awesome.
Because I did no campaigning. So anyway, so yes. And for those that have asked, are you crazy? Probably. And I've also said this is probably going to be harder than my Woodland Pond job, but I'm always up for a challenge. So in 3 years, I will probably have hair as white as anybody's in this room. And, you know, who else knows? But yes, the Saugerties School District has given a lot to my family. And for a long time, people have been asking me to think about joining the board just because there's not a huge amount of financial expertise and the leadership experience, and I've been putting it off. But now with Anna graduating and her extracurriculars will now be focused at Cortland, and that takes up a lot of my free time. I thought this is a good time to do it while Michael's still in the high school. It'll be 3 years and I'll have done my duty and then close the door on that chapter. But yes, Tom, thank you for bringing that up. All right, thanks everybody. Oh, yes, sir. Yes.
Next Wednesday is going to be the special meeting of the Residents Association, where we will be reviewing our proposed 4 bylaw changes. That meeting will have some slides prepared by Tom, and we'll be prepared to answer questions from the audience about the pros and cons of each of the changes. Following that will be the regular quarterly Residents Association meeting, and we've chosen as a topic to take off on the memo we all received a couple weeks ago. What is a subacute rehab stay? I think Natalie spoke to you. We're going to bring Natalie from the health center in, and we're going to have a couple of residents who've had experiences that qualified them to become in this category and one who didn't. And we'll have a question and answer period following that. So it'll be 2 meetings, total of about an hour of your time. And we hope you all can find it in your schedule to attend. Thank you.
Thanks, Dave. Oh, Margaret? Dave, you want to do that to Margaret?
I just think we ought to congratulate Sarah.
Sarah. Would we like to? Congratulations. Yes. Oh, yeah. She's saying Doug is severely outnumbered. So yes, Sarah has popped very quickly. So we will be welcoming another baby into the Woodland Pond family. So congratulations. Thanks, Margaret. All right, everybody have a great rest of your day.